Hi there, James Savage from National Club Golfer down here at Rudding Park once again, and I've got a comparison video for you today with the brand new Titleist TS2 driver, and I'm putting that up against the TaylorMade M4 and the Ping G400 Max. Okay, so brand new Titleist TS drivers have just been launched. Loads of buzz around these products. Titleist are very excited about these drivers, saying that they're going to be their fastest drivers ever. They're going to compete with everyone else from distance and ball speed, which is a bit of a shift from what we've seen from Titleist in the past. Always been a real strong custom fitting company, and I think that they're still keeping that ethos. They're still going to be putting as much effort into their custom fitting process, but they want to show that they can make drivers that are fast and are long and are penetrating ball flights just as the other guys in the game. So the reason why I wanted to do this comparison was I've got the Ping G400 Max, which is my gamer driver. I've been using this for the last sort of 6 months or so, and I've got the TaylorMade M4, which is, to me, is probably like the ultimate grip it and rip it driver. So what we've got here is 3 drivers that are built for speed, built for distance, built for the guy that wants to win the long drive competition. In my experience, all the drivers that I've tested over the last 12 months, the Ping G400 Max and the TaylorMade M4, are the best 2 drivers that I've tested on that front for ball speed and distance. So can the new Titleist TS2 driver compete with these 2? Okay, let's just touch a little bit on the technology of these 3 clubs before we get into the results, because there's actually quite a lot of similarities between them in terms of how they're designed and what they're supposed to be doing. They're all designed to be super long, and they're all designed to be super forgiving. As you can see on all 3 of these drivers, we've got this sort of discretionary weight which is low and back. You've heard me go on about it long enough, but the key to long drives is that sort of low and back CG, which is just going to launch the ball high, with low spin, and also keeping that weight at the back. It increases the MOI, the stability of the club, so you're going to get good retention of ball speed. You're going to get that resistance to twisting on your heel and toe strikes. Like I said, these drivers are built for forgiveness and they're built for speed. They're distance machines, so it's really interesting to kind of put them head to head. Again, all what they've done on the designs in each of these clubs, it's all about using lightweight materials, being as light as possible, so all that weight saving can be put in that key area, which is low and back. We've not got any sort of significant adjustability on these clubs apart from in the hosler. So we've got a little bit more adjustability in the Titleist because we've got the sort of loft and lie adjustability on there, whereas we've just got up and down lofts on the other 2. So like I say, from my starting point, Ping G400 Max is the driver that's in my bag. I trust this club. I think it's been working well for me. The launch monitor numbers were excellent, and this has probably been the best and most successful driver that I've ever used. But I've got this TaylorMade M4 which is sat in my cupboard behind me, and I see it as it's a driver that seduces me. I want to use this driver. I like using this driver. I like hitting it. I really like the shaft. It's got a really good Project X hazardous black shaft in this driver, and like I say, this is almost very close to the Ping G400, waiting in line, and my sort of like next in line club. So now I've got the TS2, really impressed with this so far. Is it going to go in my bag? Well, it's definitely between these 3 clubs in terms of which club I want to put in my bag out on the course. So let's have a look at the numbers and see if any is performing better than the other. Okay, so how do these drivers perform? I've got some Trackman numbers here which hopefully will give you an idea of which one's working best for me. So let's start off with my gamer driver, the Ping G400 driver, a driver that I've been really enjoying out on the course. Now, looking at these numbers here, they're not blowing me away, but they're still very solid. More like sort of carry 230, total 250, ball speed averaging at 145 miles an hour. Spin was just getting a little bit high for me on this occasion. So I'd say those numbers are sort of solid without being spectacular. But what I have got with Ping is I've got I know how good it performs out on the course. I know how much confidence it gives me down behind the ball, and I know that I can shoot good scores with that driver. Then we got the TaylorMade, again, very similar, sort of, carry 235, total 255. Good ball speed, a little bit more ball speed on the TaylorMade, that they're at 146.5, so ever so say just ever so slightly increased from the Ping G400 Max, but yeah, very solid numbers there. And then finally the Titleist driver, then are we seeing any performance gains on those 2? Well, we are just seeing a little bit more consistent performance there. We've got an average carry there of 240, average total 263, and an average ball speed of 147. So really small margins here between the 3, but it is just sort of like a mile an hour up. The TaylorMade was up on the Ping, and then another mile an hour where the Titleist was up on the TaylorMade. So that's just resulting in that slightly more distance and slightly more carry. You know, the good shots here with the Titleist, you know, Turtle 270, you know, Turtle 260, Turtle 263, you know, really encouraging numbers for me. And like I say, I've put this Titleist driver in play in a couple of rounds out on the course, and I've been finding that I have just been a little bit further down the fairway. I have had a little, you know, lesser number going into the green. So this is, you know, this is really significant that this Titleist driver is competing with these two drivers from that ball speed and distance point of view. And I'm quite excited. As I say, am I going to be putting the Titleist driver in my bag? Well, I'm not sure yet, because I'd probably need to put it into play into like a competition round to see how I get on with it. You know, when the pressure's on, can I find that fairway? Because I know that the Ping's been doing a really good job, you know, for me on that. And you know, the numbers are very similar. You know, we're not talking like night and day numbers. So it's going to be the acid test for me is, you know, can I put this Titleist driver into playing competition and keep it straight, hitting fairways and hitting it as long as the Trackman's telling me I'm hitting. But like I say, initial signs here are really, really good. Like Titleist, their sole focus on this club was ball speed, and we have seen a little bit more ball speed, you know, with the TS driver than we did with the TaylorMade and with the Ping. Now, that's not something I would have seen with their last driver, the 917, which was all about getting dialed in, you know, for the custom fitting process. But we are seeing good, pure, raw ball speed with this Titleist TS2 driver, and that's really exciting to see. So, any questions about any of these numbers? If you want me to elaborate on anything, please post a comment below and I will get back to you. If you want to know any more about the shafts that we use, the lofts, anything at all, the SRPs or specs of the new Titleist drivers, please post them below. I'll be more than happy to answer for you straight away. But it's a really positive result there for the Titleist TS driver, and I'll come back to you in another video maybe later on to let you know whether or not that driver has made it into my bag or whether or not the Ping G400 Max is still there. So in the meantime, guys, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.